The linear algebra course is based on matrices, constantly matrices and not abstract transformations. So if I look at a matrix, one of the first ideas is are the columns of the matrix independent? What is the...
Hi, I'm Kenji Hiranabe from Japan, one of the Japanese co-translators of Professor Gilbert Strang's book, Linear Algebra for Everyone. By the way, I really admire his invention of the graphic, the 4 subspaces, which you can see in my background. This short video is an interview with Professor Strang, a legendary linear algebra teacher. The interview was conducted with the help of Professor Kiminori Matsuzaki, the other co-translator, who visited Professor Strang's office at MIT last week. On May 15th, Professor Strang delivered his final lecture of 1806 at an MIT classroom. It was broadcasted on YouTube to more than 5,000 real-time viewers from all over the world. His final lecture was phenomenal, full of insights, passion, and love for mathematics and his students. You can find the link below. This interview was recorded just 2 days before the lecture in a safe and cozy office at MIT. Let's dive in. Your office in MIT?
Yes. You could, if you turn the thing, you can see the back of the office. I think you can. So there's the blackboard and the window, and then many books on the shelf here. But it's my desk is always a mess. Always a mess.
How nice.
Well, good. Yeah.
I was actually long wanted to meet you and show my appreciation.
Yeah, very good. Has it been 5 years? 5 years. That's pretty good. Yes. It started with a birthday card or some kind of a card to you, I think. Do I remember?
Yes. A friend of mine seeing me, I'm so into it. So she surprisingly emailed you and you sent me a birthday card.
Yes. Right. But then I thought that was everything. And then thanks to you, it continued. You had some ideas and some drawing, some art, and it continued to wonderful things, to Matrix World. Yes.
Yeah. This one,
that's the one.
You will doing the final lecture on Monday, right?
That's right. And you have a link, I think.
Yes, I do.
I think it's going to be on Zoom. Yeah. Do you have a copy of the 6th edition? There we go. Kiminori had a copy. Here we are. Yeah.
And I would like to have your 5 minutes and I have my interview recordings.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. So today I have Professor Strang at MIT, and I would like to interview him because he is having his final lecture. Is that right?
Final lecture after 61 years on the MIT.
61 years.
That's right.
So you are doing your last year of your MIT lecture. How is it going?
Well, it's a very big class for my last class, 460.
400?
Yes, came to the class. So you will see that it will be in Zoom on Monday at 11 o'clock in the morning in Boston time. And I will speak about the paper that I sent you this morning about elimination and factoring a matrix A into A equals C times R. So that's my contribution, and it's part of the linear algebra course. So that will be the topic of my final lecture. Yeah.
That's your signature now.
That's my signature, exactly.
And your 4 subspaces. That's
Well,
my
and of course,
background.
yeah, oh, I recognize that. That's great. Yes, yes, yes. The four subspaces and the pictures that you have created for the factorizations, those are the two big pictures on the, so the new book has the four subspaces again on the cover, and it has the five
Oh,
factorizations
how
with your,
nice. How nice.
yeah, oh, very, very nice.
Great.
Yes, yeah. So
Um,
are you starting the interview so that
yes, I will
people will
include that too.
people will see that? Yeah, good.
I see that you have been lectured this linear algebra for a long time. Is
Yes.
your teaching structure have changed? How is it?
Well,
How has it changed?
yes, so it certainly has changed, and the whole subject of linear algebra has changed
Oh,
in 50 years. So when I was a student at MIT, it was a pure algebra
mm,
course. So we had a great mathematician, Iwasawa Kenkichi,
oh,
from Japan. Well, he originally from Japan, but he was a star in the MIT math department. So he gave a perfect course, never any mistake. It was just
oh,
beautiful, so I was about maybe 19 years old. But there was no connection to applications.
mm,
Uh, and then 20 years later, after after final PhD and coming back to MIT on the faculty, the faculty said, "Would you like to be the responsible for linear algebra?" I said, "Okay," but I changed the
mm,
subject engineering, as many
oh,
engineering students, and the course, the pure course, was not right for the
mm,
for the applications. Yeah, and applications that you were forced to a more, but it's still good. It's still mathematics,
mm,
uh,
mm.
uh, but it's includes now least squares and this edition includes some deep learning,
Mm.
machine learning. So anyway, changed the course, and of course immediately engineers came to take the course.
Oh,
So the course is numbered 1806. 18 is all the mathematics courses have number 18, and then 06 makes it a pretty elementary course. 1801
oh,
and 1802 is calculus, and then 1806 linear algebra. Yeah. So anyway, many students take the course now.
a lot of linear algebra course now for mathematics starts with linear spaces or linear
Yeah,
transformations, kind of
that's
like
right.
that. But you started very differently.
Yes, that's right. Very, yeah. And so for me, the first ideas of the linear algebra course is based on matrices, constantly matrices, and not abstract
Mm.
transformations. So if I look at a matrix, one of the first ideas is are the columns of the matrix independent? What is the rank of the matrix, the number of independent columns? So that's where we begin with uh, with practical questions
Mm, mm,
that, of course, they're mathematics questions. Yeah, definitely. They're not engineering questions.
mm.
I'm not an engineer, but practical questions. Yeah. So that's the difference. Linear transformations comes near the end, and it's at that point we know a lot, and it's pretty straightforward and clear. Yeah. Yeah. So the factorizations, the new one,
Mm.
uh, column times row, and then for elimination, the LU for solving equations, and then least squares, and then eigenvalues, and finally singular values. I don't know if singular values are in Japan's linear algebra courses. Do you teach, Kiminori?
I think most of the Japanese classes focus on the eigenvalue problems,
Eigenvalue, yes.
Eigenvalue.
Right.
and not so often. So it goes up to the singular value decomposition.
That's true in the US also. Eigenvalues also often are that's the end of the course, but singular values are super important for data science. Eigenvalues are for square matrices, and in data science, the
Right.
matrices are not square, and then they have singular values. So that's a beautiful factorization. It's become the big workhorse of applied math, applied linear algebra, the SVD, singular value decomposition. Yeah.
In my university days,
Yes.
Jordan decomposition or Jordan
yeah.
form was
Right.
the climax. But
Jordan
you changed the climax, right?
That's right. The Jordan form is certainly important for the theory because some square matrices don't have a complete set of eigenvectors, and then you have the technical problems are solved by the Jordan form. But that's not nobody in practice is working too hard on the Jordan form. Yeah. So yeah, my course with Professor Iwasawa also ended with Jordan form.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
you stated that Jordan form is unstable, and I mean
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. If it only comes, Jordan form is only interesting if some eigenvalue is repeated. If you have an eigenvalue with a multiplicity, but then a small change in the matrix and the eigenvalues are all different, and then you can diagonalize the matrix that you have all the eigenvectors and no need for the Jordan form. Yeah. So that's right. The world of linear algebra has moved from linear transformations and ending at Jordan form to factorizations ending at singular values. Yeah.
What year? I mean, you have taught linear algebra so long time, and
Yes.
what is the turning point? I mean, when did you change your syllabus?
Well, when I started teaching linear algebra, so that was in the 1970s. So my first book had the Jordan form in an appendix, but with a proof. It also had least squares. Least squares regression for statistics is super important. Actually, the whole subject of statistics is growing in an amazing way. Before, statistics was kind of part of mathematics. Now it's just exploding. So yeah, so I think the new ideas like the pseudo inverse I put into the 6th edition also. I don't know if pseudo inverse has come into. I didn't teach it, the pseudo inverse, but it's in the textbook.
Your chapter name, Revenge of Sparsity, or Victory of Orthogonality. I like that very much. Could you tell me about that?
Well, that's the important thing about the singular value, singular vectors. The singular vectors are, for every matrix, are orthogonal. So really their orthogonality has won the battle. For symmetric matrices, the eigenvectors are orthogonal, and that's a very important fact. But then most matrices are not symmetric. Most matrices are not square. So it's singular values, which always have orthogonal singular vectors. Yeah, always. Yeah, so just to tell people, the singular value decomposition, we say SVD, is orthogonal matrix times a diagonal matrix times an orthogonal matrix. And that means that every linear transformation is a rotation, a stretching, and a rotation, and or possibly reflection. So it comes with geometry too. Yeah.
Great. Could you tell me about the revenge of sparsity?
Well, sparsity is important because if you do a least squares problem to find the best solution to suppose you have too many equations. So in a problem, AX equal B, but too many equations, no solution. Then you do least squares, in statistics called regression, to get the best solution. Yeah, the best solution is there. And that's one thing. But for applications, a sparse solution is good, because the least squares solution usually has many small components, small but not zero, not zero. And sparse means many zeros for sparse, and that's of course make convenient. Then you can understand the solution. If the solution just has 4 components and 100 zeros, you can understand what that vector is. So that's why we like sparse. So sparse MATLAB produces a solution like that with very few non-zeros. Yeah.
And your book now have relation with AI or deep learning?
Yes, right. Yeah.
But what are you feeling?
GPT is amazing.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, wow. So, for example, one of my sons is a doctor, a radiologist. So after he sees the film, he has to write a report on what he sees. And that takes a lot of time, but I think that in the future, ChatGPT will make a lot of writing easier. But I'm not an expert, so ChatGPT maybe has some problems that I don't know about. Yeah.
Do you feel fear about coming AIs discriminating humanity or changing our lives too much, or the end of humanity?
Well, I tell you, I don't worry about coming of ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. I worry more about Trump, to tell the truth. If we have him as our president again, we are in big trouble.
I like that.
Yeah. So I wish Japan could vote too and get us safe.
Finally, I would like to ask you about your love to your linear algebra or math.
Yes, I see. Well, I suppose it was the subject that came easily, that when I was in school, I went very quickly through the math courses, and it was always and it's a beautiful subject. So it was natural to continue. I'm not an engineer. I wouldn't be a good engineer. So mathematics was the best choice for me. But I have a lot of engineering friends and medical friends. So those are wonderful subjects too. But for myself, the more abstract mathematics was good, but not too abstract. Yeah.
Every time Every
Yeah.
time I see your teaching, I feel
Yeah.
love.
Okay, well, that's true. I really try to help students and yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, mathematics is a good subject for everybody to understand. And as art is, so you have talent in several directions, and that's really impressive. Yeah, good.
Thank you. But I'm so affected. I mean, I have been changed my thinking
Yes,
from being right or correct
yes,
to be more passionate or be more um, energetic.
yeah. Oh, that's terrific. Well, very good, and sympathetic with everybody. Yes,
Yes, yes.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Everybody is trying trying to learn, and
Mm.
it's just great to help them. Yeah, yeah. So teaching is a good life. So after 61 years, I'm not sure what I'll do. I may do some teaching online or something, but the open courseware
Mm.
was an experience that I'd
That's
never
amazing.
never expected. Yeah, so clearly the need is there. So to everyone who sees this, I'm looking forward to what comes next.
Great, great, great. Kiminori-san and I will translate your books and literatures to
Yeah.
Japanese people. Do you have any messages to new audience in Japan?
Oh, well, my main message is to say thank you to Kiminori and thank you to you for Kenji for making the books more interesting and more accurate. Yeah, it's I'm so happy with the Japanese, the translations into Japanese. Yeah, very
Great,
good.
great, great. じゃあ、松崎
So
先生。
はい、
松崎先生、先生の、
これ。
that's the one.
yes, yeah,
先生、
that's great.
松崎先生、先生の講義に参加されたと思うんですけど、なんか印象とかありますか？今回の訪問について。
いや、アメリカの、そう、ちょっと日本語すみません。アメリカの大学の授業のスタイルなのかもしれないんですけど、そう先生が問いかけをして、学生がそれに答えるっていうのが、数学の授業の中でもある。
あ
例えばここで、この A に対して列空間ができる
あ、
よ。日本の授業だと、そう全部教師が言っちゃうんですけど、そうじゃなくて、この A から考えるべきことなんですかって先生が言って、学生がそれは列空間だと答えるっていうのを、それが授業の中で結構何度もそういうのが行われている。
あ
それは結構日本と違うなというか、
ー、
ぜひ自分取り入れたいなと思ってるところですね。授業のやり方で、ちゃんと学生に問いかけをして学生が答えるっていう、うまく回っているっていうのが、結構そこがね、その授業の違いになってくるのかなという印象はなんかありましたね。
じゃあ先生の最後の授業楽しみですね。
そうですね。
Yeah, we are looking forward to seeing your final lecture.
Well, okay, good. Thank you. And it's just a pleasure to work with you. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you very much.
right. So that's on Monday, two more days. Yeah, right. Okay, thank you for
Thank you very much.
my pleasure. Right. Good.
じゃあこれはYouTube に載せますので。
All
Professor
right.
Strang, thank you very much for your interview, and I would like to publish this interview with you. Is that okay to you?
I'm sure it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
I'm so
Good.
happy.
Me too. Right. Happy to see you in person. Yeah.